Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Tasmania Police is under fire after being accused of downplaying the prevalence of drink spiking in the state. A public message claiming drink spiking incidents to be rare has been met with a barrage of public backlash. It comes after a Tasmanian woman who claims to be a victim of spiking says procedures in place to deal with the problem are inadequate.
When Mandy shared her experience of drink spiking on the weekend, she didn't expect the reaction she's received.
You know, I've got hundreds of people who've messaged me, and heartbreakingly, and I've got people saying, "You're the first person I've told. I was so ashamed. I thought I'd done something wrong, but what you've described is exactly what happened to me."
It was confirmed yesterday that police can't pursue her case due to a lack of evidence. They say they're unable to verify an offence took place at a Salamanca bar on Saturday night.
And we're confident that we actually understand the surrounds and the surrounding circumstances that matter. So we couldn't take it any further. The investigation was exhaustive.
Mandy's tried to gain CCTV from the evening, but nothing was recorded. She says officers have tried to help her, but are restricted by a lack of processes. Facing the same barrier at the hospital, Mandy says she asked for blood tests, but was told there's no policy or procedure with how to deal with the issue.
If that happens again tonight to someone, what's in place to stop my experience happening again?
Of course, we'd always look at how things can be improved in future. We're a government that listens, and I would be prepared to consider possibilities there.
Tasmania Police now facing heat for a social media post released last night, which says drink spiking is very rare and effects can be felt by people due to medication or too much alcohol. Comments now critical that it's an example of victim blaming and not considered as a deliberate malicious act.
The problem is the person putting whatever they are in somebody else's drink. They're the problem, they're the issue, and they're the cause. It's not the person that's drinking the drink.
We'll believe the person that comes and reports it to Tasmania Police, but you need to come forward early to get the help that you need for the medical assistance, and also report it to Tasmania Police.
Louise Hedger, 7 Tasmania News.
In developing news, a man has been taken to hospital after being hit by a vehicle on the Bass Highway at Hadspen. The victim is currently in the Launceston General with critical injuries. It's understood a local doctor was the first on the scene and helped render first aid. Traffic is currently being diverted onto Patina Road or Meander Valley Road. Delays are likely to be in place for at least 2 hours while investigations take place. In a separate incident earlier today, the driver involved in a single vehicle rollover this morning on the Bass Highway remains on the run. Emergency crews were called to the scene at Travellers Rest around 5 a.m, finding the grey Mazda hatchback abandoned and smashed on the side of the road. Traffic was backed up for hours as police examined the scene. It's not yet known what caused the crash or what injuries the driver sustained, but police are concerned for their welfare. Anyone who witnessed the crash or saw the driver fleeing the scene is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Police have located and charged a second man with attempted murder after a 33-year-old was allegedly shot in the face on Sunday. The 29-year-old Invermay man was arrested last night in Trevellyn and has also been charged with aggravated assault. Hillfront Court tonight. A 26-year-old Mowbray man was yesterday charged with attempted murder in relation to the shooting. Detectives say the alleged victim received injuries to his eye and temple area during the incident. A 31-year-old man who tried to smuggle more than $1 million worth of crystal methamphetamine, commonly known as ice, into the state has been sentenced to more than 5 years behind bars. Terry Henry Simpson was intercepted at Hobart Airport with the bounty stashed in his undies.
The seriousness of this crime wasn't lost on the judge today, who told the court Terry Henry Simpson's decision to bring in a large quantity of ice to Tasmania had the ability to cause enormous suffering and damage. The court heard this package, which weighed just over a kilogram, was found in his underpants and had the street value of more than $1 million. Mr Simpson was returning home to Hobart at the time from a trip to Sydney in August this year, but he didn't get far, with police and sniffer dogs greeting him at the airport. He was charged a short time later with drug trafficking and entered an early plea of guilty, which the court took into account today with sentencing. The 31-year-old appeared via video link from Risdon Prison, which will now be his home for even longer. The court also heard Mr Simpson had a troubled upbringing and lengthy criminal history, but this was his most serious crime. The judge also told the court it's unlikely Mr Simpson acted alone, but he hadn't cooperated with authorities in revealing who else was involved. Jessica Moran, 7 Tasmania News.
The owners of an offshore drilling rig in the River Derwent will carry out a biosecurity inspection of the hull after access to environmental authorities was initially denied. It comes after concerns were raised about colonial sea squirts, a devastating marine pest which could be present on the Ocean Monarch rig. The inspection is likely to take place in early January prior to its departure from our waters. The Environment Protection Authority says it will hold the company to its legal requirements. Police hold grave concerns for a missing bushwalker in the state's far southwest who was meant to return home from a 1-month trek 7 days ago. James McLean started the Huon Track walk in the Tarhoon area on November 13 but failed to show for a food drop. The Westpac rescue helicopters searched the area on Tuesday but found no sign of him. Police are continuing their search, asking anyone with information to come forward. The state Liberal government is enjoying a slight lift in the polls. EMR's voting intention showing support at 39%, but still well down from 50% at the state election. Labor's support has increased slightly, while the Greens have dropped. Rebecca White remains as preferred Premier, 6 points in front of Will Hodgman. Welcome back, everyone. 3 of Tasmania's emergency services are on the hunt for recruits, seeking people to join their mission to help the community. The fire service is preparing for its biggest year of recruiting since 2000 and is hoping for more women to step into the male-dominated profession.
Giving a demonstration of some of the heavy lifting that's part of becoming a firefighter.
I sort of joined because I knew it was going to be challenging. It's physically rewarding, and just not knowing what you're going to go to every day, but also helping the community, and it is a very rewarding job.
Sandy joined up 5 years ago. She's one of 11 women among 300 career firefighters.
As a female, you can definitely do it, and it's a great job. You still need to be able to pass all the assessments. You still need to be able to do the job, and as the male would have to do as well, so definitely don't be daunted.
A campaign launched today to encourage people to put their hands up for 24 career positions available next year. The TFS putting on Come and Try days to demystify what it's like being a firefighter.
It's not that tough, but it's sometimes a bit daunting for people. So if they want to get a sense of what it's about and what they need to prepare for, we just want to give everyday Tasmanians, men and women, the opportunity to have a look at it.
Police also marking a milestone, 20 constables officially joining the ranks, graduating from the academy today. 2 more recruit courses running next year.
There's 9 months of study, but as a result of that study they come out with an associate degree through the University of Tasmania, and they well trained, well prepared professional police officers to help assist the community to continue to be safe.
The ambulance service also on the hunt for people, advertising paramedic internships as it faces peaks in patient demand.
The way that we're addressing that is by opening up 42 paid positions, and we'll be targeting those in regional areas where we know we can be supporting our workforce more.
Michael Breen, 7 Tasmania News.
If you were thinking of surprising a loved one with a furry new friend this Christmas, Hobart's 10 Lives Cat Centre is urging people to adopt an unwanted cat or kitten after the centre was inundated with more than 250 of them in the recent months.
The other Wednesday, within a 2-hour period, we had 40 cats and kittens come in, and even this morning we've had over 20 come in already.
Says this holiday season has been particularly busy, with a cat or kitten coming through the doors every 30 minutes. A Tasmanian school is hoping to inspire the next generation of engineers with plans for a new STEM facility set to come to fruition. The new hub, backed by the federal government with a $600,000 grant, provided to help bring the vision to life.
For these students, a love for science and robotics is in their wiring.
So we had a group of 10 go to the Lego League competition in Launceston, and they came second. So they got invited to go to Sydney, and that was an amazing achievement for them.
It's an interest the Devonport Christian School says it wants to continue fostering, with construction set to begin on a new science, technology, engineering and maths hub.
But we think this has really fast-tracked the learning and going to be a home for the STEAM Centre, which is just fantastic.
The building blocks for the project are partially provided by a federal government grant, with the remainder coming out of the school's pocket.
So the project will be an $800,000 project, all up, $600,000 being funded from federal government programs.
The government says it's invested in preparing students for the jobs of the future.
The jobs that we'll be looking to do in the next 15 or 20 years aren't the same as the ones that we're doing now. So having the skills to actually develop solutions to those new problems, those new skills, those new jobs is going to be really important.
It's hoped inspiring students at an early age will also help curb Tasmania's low rates of tertiary education.
I believe that sewing into the primary classrooms in early childhood is critical in preparing children's futures.
Construction will begin next year and is expected to be completed by the 2020 school year. Judy Augustine, 7 Tasmania News.
Mona may be taking its summer festival to Launceston again this year, but there are still performances on offer at its Berrydale site over coming weeks. Today we were treated to a preview of the 42-day Mona Music Marathon with visiting and local artists.
This is a great platform for them, including people of all different styles of music, members of the Chinese, Nepalese community, folk singers, blues, jazz, improvised music as we just did.
The marathon begins tomorrow and events are free.
It's an age-old Tasmanian tradition and organisers are promising something bigger and better than ever this time around. And crowds can expect to see some of the world's best athletes going head-to-head when the Christmas Carnival Series kicks off.
It's the only event of its kind like it in the country.
In the roots of Tasmania, it's generations deep. You'll quite often see parents and their kids participating.
From ones to watch to world record holders, Sam Welsford returns to defend his cycling crown, along with Tasmanian sprint sensations Jacob Despard and Jack Hale, and having recently been touted as Australian distance running's next big name after claiming back-to-back national 10,000 metre titles, Stuart McSwain will look to cap off a huge year on the track as organisers look to broaden the event's appeal in order to sustain it for decades to come.
And the challenge for us is to maintain such a strong tradition but make it relevant to the young people. So this year we've created an app for all the live results, and we're doing a lot more social media and a lot more vision, and a lot of our carnivals now offer a key hour of power, so to speak, where spectators can come along and just experience all the good bits in one little bite-sized piece.
The series begins with the Rosebery Carnival in 2 days' time. To cricket, and the Hobart Hurricanes got in a solid hit out ahead of their Big Bash opener against the Brisbane Heat on Saturday night, with the Canes getting up by just 4 runs against Trans-Tasman rivals the Auckland Aces in today's practice match at Blunston Arena. George Bailey, the best of the Canes order, with 41 not out.
She's been touted as one of the most marketable athletes on the planet, and she's returning to Hobart. Organisers of the Hobart International today confirming Canadian Eugenie Bouchard will headline the tournament's free family weekend, along with former champions Mona Barthel and Heather Watson. Beginning on January 5, the inaugural family weekend allows fans to watch qualifying matches at the Domain Tennis Centre without needing a ticket. World number 24, Mihaela Buzanescu, headlines the main draw, along with 2016 champion Elise Cornet.
Good evening. Some temperatures today up to 6 below average, mainly in the south. Close to average over the north though. Hobart just 16, Burnie 20 and Devonport 21. Launceston's 24 was the state's top. Launceston also recorded 23 millimetres of rainfall between 9 and 3 today. Flinders Island 22 degrees, Smithton and Low Head 21, St Helens 20, Friendly Beaches and Strawn 19, King Island 17 and Ouse 16 degrees. Cloud over most of Tasmania with thunderstorms active over the north. Now the onshore winds also had the clouds streaming over the southern mainland coast. Patchy low clouders over inland areas and parts of the top end. Tomorrow, a high over the Bight extends a ridge over Tasmania. The broad trough continues over the mainland. The wind southwest-southeasterly again at 10 to 20 knots, reaching 25 knots over the east with lighter winds inland. As we get closer to Christmas, a few showers to get out of the way tomorrow. Light ones, Hobart 17 along with Huonville 18 for Campania. Launceston, showers, possible heavy falls in the north, 21 degrees, 19 the top for Devonport, a heavy fall or two for Georgetown and a top of 20. Burnie, showers, a high of 19, 17 for Strawn, a shower or two for Wynyard as well and 19 degrees. St Helens, showery and 17, light showers for Swansea and Port Arthur, all on 17. UV, very high to extreme. On Saturday, mainly fine over the south and southeast, a shower for the northeast and west coast, fine and sunny. On Sunday, apart from a morning shower over the west, and on Christmas Eve, fine and sunny for all, with temperatures warming right up. Sunny and 36 in Perth tomorrow, some cloud over Adelaide, showers increasing for Melbourne, showers also for Canberra and Sydney, a possible late storm for Brisbane after a sweaty 37. It's partly cloudy in Hobart right now, 17, 19 in Launceston, bit of cloud over Devonport and 18 degrees. The Christmas Day forecast does shift a bit, Joe. Fine and very warm in the north, a bit cooler in the south with partly cloudy weather and maybe a shower over the east coast, but I'll fix all that up before Christmas Day.
Yes, that'd be lovely, thank you. That's all from the team for now. Have a great evening. We'll see you a little bit later. Bye-bye.